This is Azita. She moved here to Canada from Iran 2 years ago with her husband. And here she waits. Azita lives around downtown, and she goes to the superstore for her groceries. Fortunately, she doesn't have to walk too far to take the number 8. Then again, she does have to wait over half an hour sometimes in between buses. This routine is tough considering that Kelowna is not the most friendly of walkable cities. In a city built on the rise in the ubiquity of the automobile, one can feel pretty isolated in being separated by neighborhoods that seem nearly insurmountable to traverse by foot in any reasonable time. I'm no stranger to the challenges of public transit in this city as a student. But what if you're new to this country? What if English was not your first language? I could only imagine. To understand what I may have been taking for granted, I decided to accompany Azita on the most almighty of trips, the grocery store. Before our trip, I decided to get acquainted with her at Kelowna Community Resources, a local nonprofit organization that helps newcomers like her get settled in their new homes, and ask her about her transit experiences.
I've been here for around 2 years. And what brought me here was my marriage.
Right on.
Yeah. My husband is a graduate student at UBC Okanagan.
Do you take the number 8 to get straight to UBC?
No. I prefer to take 97.
But at least you have those other local routes if you need to go grocery shopping, though.
Yeah.
Right? Mostly you've just been using like public transit?
Yeah. When I came here, we were living in Kelowna.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was a little difficult because in Kelowna it has just 2 bus routes there, and it was difficult for us to go shopping and get to like Superstore, Costco.
I also managed to get in touch with Ellen Bulkey, Executive Director of KCR, to ask of her experiences helping new immigrants overcome their common struggles and how they get around the city.
When you're a new immigrant coming into a brand new country, the challenges are endless, and they're daily. We can't understand even those challenges. So for example, somebody coming from another country may speak a different language. They may not even understand that we have a public transportation system, right? And so when we work with them as settlement workers, that's what our job is to try to help smooth it out a bit, because there's the language issue, there's also a cultural issue, and I think what a lot of people are facing is also systemic issues.
It was difficult to set the time to go out, you know.
Do you find yourself going to different places on the weekend versus the weekdays, depending on the bus schedule?
Yeah, especially on Sunday, I prefer to go into independent grocery store. We don't need to take a bus, we can walk to get there. And in winter, because the weather is cold, sometimes we prefer to go shopping just once a week. Because in my country, I'm not worried about how much I want to carry because I use a car. Yeah, but here, every time I'm think about that.
Transportation is definitely an issue, absolutely, no question. And can you imagine, a mom with 5 children? We've got one family here with they actually have 10 children under the age of 15, and then you try to go somewhere. It's not like you can leave your children at home quite often. So absolutely, transportation is an issue.
At first, I was looking the nearest to bus stop. If it took around 10 minutes walk, I ignored it. I didn't choose that apartment, and that's limits us to rent an apartment and find the place.
Next stop, Springfield at Wilkinson.
Another reason that I have to take bus here. That if I want to take taxi, it's more expensive than bus.
Many people, as soon as they come here and they understand our transportation system, the next goal for them is to own a vehicle. They don't know how else to make it around. The Central Okanagan is very car-centric. Absolutely. And our bus systems are challenging. Even when we try to find work for persons that are newcomers, we have to take into consideration the public transportation system, because depending on where they live and where they have to go to, it can take them a really long time.
I love Kelowna, especially the nature of this city. You can see the combination of lake, mountains, gardens, like that. I like here.
They add so much to our community in terms of our economy and in terms of diversity, and even just something simple like getting to experience different types of restaurants and different types of foods and hearing about different parts of the world. It's all about having a better understanding about the challenges that our newcomers have when they come, and how might we be able to support them with that challenge.
When you want to come to another country that everything is different from your country, you should know everything about that country.